What are you off to do?
I'm on an adventure. I'm going on an adventure. Welcome to Roughing It with Ruth, the channel where everything is a bit rough around the edges. Today I want to talk about a subject that I'm actually really passionate about, but I've also hesitated about making a video on this particular subject because I feel like it's something that gets said a lot and nothing actually seems to happen. In fact, in some cases it seems like the opposite is happening. People keep going on and on and on about it, and it's actually making things worse somehow. This subject is littering. Why is there so much trash? Why are so many items discarded improperly? They're clogging up our waterways, they're lying all over the ground, they're causing unbelievable eyesores. And whenever you talk to someone about this particular subject, they will always agree with you. They'll always say, yes, absolutely, littering is very bad, nobody should do it. And yet there's still so much litter everywhere. So I want to go a little bit more in depth into this subject and just share the research that I've done and my own personal feelings about litter and why it's bad and why it doesn't seem to be getting any better and what we can do about it. So reason number one why people sometimes litter is because they do not always realize that it is litter. So lots of people will think nothing of throwing a banana peel into a natural environment because the banana peel is plant matter. It's biodegradable. There's no problem with that, right? Well, actually, there is a problem with it. If that item is not native to that environment, then it is going to cause problems. For instance, animals that come into contact with it might eat it, they might get sick, they might become dependent on a food source that is not actually naturally occurring. Soil or water might change their pH, and there are other parasitic things that could live on your biodegradable item that might end up infecting the environment that you're throwing it into. It is also an eyesore. If you're walking along your favorite trail and you see a discarded banana peel, it really doesn't look very good. Biodegradable matter can also end up smelling really bad, which also makes the area unappealing. People don't want to use it anymore. More people are likely to dump their rubbish there, and it's just a vicious cycle. Which brings us to the number two reason why people litter, and that is because someone has done it before them. They see litter on the ground, they think, well, this place is already a dumping ground for trash, I'm just going to drop my trash here as well. My favorite example of this particular thing is road run races, where they use those little plastic water sachets that the runners drink out of. The road running organizers often go to extremely big lengths to put out dustbins for the runners to throw their packets into, and yet the entire course is absolutely papered with those little plastic sachets. The runners are all discarding their packets on the ground, and the next runner thinks, oh, well, if everyone else is doing it, I can do it. And I'm sure the race organizers make sure to clean up afterwards, and they throw their packets, and the next people throw their packets. But those little plastic sachets get picked up by the wind or the water if it's raining. They get blown into inaccessible places. They go down storm water drains. There is no way that those race organizers can pick up every single one of them, and they end up causing even more trash. And the third reason that I'm going to bring up is the reason that actually most people immediately think of for littering, and that is just that someone is too lazy to go and find a dustbin or too lazy to go and find the proper place to dispose of the item in their hand, and they just throw it on the ground. People do often do this in situations where they think they will not get caught. At the sides of roads, you end up having things that have been discarded out of car windows because people think, oh, I can just quickly throw this out the window and no one will ever know. So why is litter so bad for the environment? There are almost too many reasons to cite here. It damages plant life, it damages the soil, it damages animal life, it damages our own human life as well by just making our environment more disease-ridden and smelly and more of an eyesore. And it also damages our infrastructure. If it gets into stormwater drains, or it gets into sewage systems, or it gets into our waterways, it ends up damaging things, and people have to spend a lot of money to fix that. There are even incredibly sad cases where discarded litter such as glass bottles or broken glass items, have actually started bushfires, and that has caused a whole lot of destruction. So what can you do about the litter problem? Well, number one is to actually educate yourself. For instance, you might have legitimately not known that throwing a banana peel or an orange peel out into the nature reserve where you're walking is a very, very bad idea. And the second way that you can help reduce the litter problem is actually so fantastic, because that same peer pressure system where people see litter, therefore they're more likely to litter, also works the other way around. If people see pristine, wonderfully clean environments, they're a lot less likely to drop their stuff. Pick up litter wherever you see it. Accidental littering does happen all the time. Something falls out of someone's pocket, it's blown out of their backpack. Just make sure that any litter that you come across, you pick up and you put in the dustbin. It helps the entire community to be cleaner. And then the third thing that you can do is to educate the people around you. So if you see somebody littering, say something about it. You don't have to be antagonistic and mean. Just tell them that littering is really bad and here are the reasons why. Then the fourth thing that you can do is to just reduce the amount of waste that you produce. So if you can use reusable items instead of disposable items, then do that. And the fifth thing that you can do is to recycle whatever litter you do produce. It's actually quite simple to just separate tins and glass and paper and take those to recycling stations instead of dumping everything into one garbage bag. And the last thing that you can do is just don't give up. No matter how much trash you see lying around, do not give up. If all of us that really care just keep on pressing home this message and doing our bit, then more people are going to get involved and eventually this litter problem will become less of a problem, and hopefully at some point in the future it won't be a problem at all. And that's it from me. I hope you had a great time watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Facebook or whatever other social media account you happen to be watching this on.